hey everybody, welcome back to The Abled Gardener, and I have been doing some reading in one of my old gardening books, and it has a lot of good information in it, but then it has a few things in it that are questionable too, or I question, and I ran across something in the book this morning that I read about tomato plants, and I just want to try it out. So this is another of my episodes on fact or fiction. So I would like to try this particular trick that is mentioned in Dick Raymond's book, and it isn't a trick that was done by him, but by somebody he met, having to do with tomatoes and getting them to ripen earlier. So as he states in the book, you can get tomatoes to ripen earlier or get them to ripen, period, if you do just one simple step. So we're going to find out if this is fact or fiction, because I've never tried it before, but I want to try it now because I have so many tomato plants that have just really big tomatoes on them and they're not getting ripe. Now, let me just give you a little prelim here. I had already done this yesterday and something happened to my audio visual and it didn't come out right, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just deleted it. So I'm going to be redoing what I did yesterday, and I'll just show you what I did, and it already seems to be working. Now, these tomatoes may already have been ready to ripen, but they've been sitting here on the vine for at least 2 weeks, large, green, and not ripening. Well, I have my page marked, so before I bring you in, I'm just going to read this to you real quick. Now, this is in Dick Raymond's book, but it doesn't have anything to do with him. It's not his little trick that he did on tomatoes. It was one that he heard of by a farmer that he ran across at a farmer's market. And the farmer, I guess, as it goes in the book, had a whole lot of ripe tomatoes before anyone else did, and he was selling all his tomatoes out because no one else had any ripe tomatoes. So it was in Tennessee. It was a Tennessee farmer. And what he said was, you can get your tomatoes to ripen if you take a spade, a small shovel, or a bread knife, and that's what I've got today. I brought out my bread knife, and I'll get it cleaned up good when I take it back in. But I brought out my bread knife, and what it said to do was cut 6 inches down in the soil, about 6 inches out from the stem of the tomato, and cut just a semicircle, so a little smiley face at the bottom of your tomato stem. What he said was your tomatoes will ripen faster, or they will start ripening and become ripe within a week. So yesterday, when I actually did this for the first time on this tomato plant, it was June 22nd. So we're going to see how fast these tomatoes ripen now within a week. Because like I said, they've been sitting here on the vine, and a lot of my other tomatoes also. Nice big tomatoes and just sitting there and not ripening. So let's bring you in, and what I'm going to do is just redo what I did last night. Okay, well, I have a good shot at the bottom of my tomato stem, and I'm wondering if you can see, yeah, you guys can see all these tomatoes on there. So this one started ripening up. It was not red at all last night when I did this for the first time. And this one over here, I don't know if you guys can see this big tomato. This is a really big tomato, and it started turning red also since yesterday. So I don't know, this may be fact or it may be fiction, but I've got quite a few tomatoes on here. I don't want to really jiggle them around too much, or they may just come off the vine. So let me pull this cardboard up. And this cardboard is just meant to help to keep the moisture in the soil so that I don't have to water as often, and the tomato will keep nice and moist underneath. Let me scrape a little bit more of this back, and I'll show you where I had cut last night around my tomato. So I just did a smiley face about 6 inches out and 6 inches down around the tomato. Yep, I remember hitting that rock last night. So let me keep going around the tomato. And last night, as I was doing this, I remember hitting some roots here, and actually I'm going through roots again. So maybe I didn't cut through them all the way last night. So There's my smiley face right there. Let me just go over it one more time. Sounds like I have a lot of rocks in here. And there are the roots right there that I'm cutting through. Okay. There we go. Get the cardboard, put that down, and then get my wood chips and my wood mulch put back over the top. Now these are my lower growing tomatoes down here at the bottom, and this is a really nice tomato. That is a gorgeous tomato. We had hamburgers tonight, and that would have been delicious on our hamburgers, and it would have been the size of a burger. Well, here's my hand, and it covers most of my hand. And this is another big one, and this tomato is a beefsteak tomato. They're so large, and they fill up your whole hand. Beefsteak tomatoes can really get large. And this one that's starting to turn red since yesterday, that's another big one. There's another one, 2 behind it. So there are 2, 4, 6, 7 tomatoes down here. And then up over here, another 3 tomatoes, 2 large ones, and then just a regular sized tomato. And this wasn't orange yesterday. So you can tell that I've cut my tomato up quite a ways to get a lot of ventilation in here, because with the squash and over here I have a lot of green beans, that there isn't a lot of air circulation coming through here. And I do have a shade device up above just to help cool the garden down. So I cut this tomato plant up quite a ways to get ventilation in here. Now there are a few on this Marglobe tomato plant that haven't ripened yet, and they've just been sitting here. They've been green and not ripening. So here's another one of my Marglobe tomato plants, and I have cut the foliage back up off of this too, because I've got a squash plant growing behind it that would stop any circulation from coming through. Well, hey everyone, thanks for joining me tonight on another episode of Fact or Fiction, where we try and find out if some of the things that we've heard about gardening are true or not. And wouldn't you know it, that something having to do with ripening tomatoes is something that I need this week, because I really want these tomatoes to ripen up pretty quick. I don't think they're going to be getting any bigger, and actually I knocked one of the green ones off, so I'm going to have to take that inside and maybe fry that up with an eggplant or something. So we'll just see if this works in ripening my tomatoes faster. And that's just cutting like a little smiley face, a little semicircle around the bottom of your tomato plant, 6 inches out from the stem and 6 inches down. And they should be ripe within a week. That's what it says. And like I said, I did this last night for the first time. And I already have my tomatoes changing color. So we'll just see. And what I will let you know too is if they ripened up and I started picking them. So I'll do a video of that if I start picking any. I'll get a video of that. But once again, thanks for joining me. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down below in the comments section. Also, if you've ever heard of this before, put a comment below and let me know where you heard of it and if you've done it and if it worked. The other thing is, if you like my videos, please subscribe. And if you like this particular video, then please check like. So bye you guys. I'll see you later. Everything that I brought out here, my iced tea.